Ever wondered why you can eat a salad without dropping dead on your kitchen floor? The reason you are alive involves a prehistoric buffet. The stakes were literally life or death. Welcome to the ultimate game of ancient Russian roulette, where the weapon of choice was a random mushroom. Let's look at how our ancestors used the scientific method before science even existed. Meet Grog, an ancient hunter with a simple culinary philosophy. If it fits in the mouth, it is food. Today, Grog has spotted a glowing blueberry that looks absolutely delicious. His friend Thag watches with an empty stomach, waiting to see if Grog becomes a satisfied customer or a corpse. Grog pops the berry into his mouth, smiling broadly for about 3 seconds. Suddenly, he falls face-first into the mud. Thag, casually sized, takes out a sharp stone and scratches a massive cross over the berry bush. Congratulations to the world's first food inspector. The rules were brutal. One man's fatal mistake was another man's dinner manual. Thousands of years passed, and humans sought a better model. They developed a plan: let the animals do the dying for them. A gatherer named Maya watches a wild goat eating bitter green leaves. She reasons that if the goat doesn't explode, she found a side dish. The goat walks away fine, so Maya feeds the leaves to her family. Spoiler alert, goats can digest toxic garbage. Humans cannot. By midnight, Maya's family is violently regretting their life choices while staring at the cave ceiling. Lesson learned the hard way. Never take nutritional advice from an animal that eats tin cans. Ancient food testing evolved into a ritual. Enter the guinea pig phase of history. A tribal chief hands a bizarre, furry root to the youngest, most expendable scout in the village. Eat this, and if you are still breathing tomorrow, we will have a massive feast. The poor scout takes a bite. His tongue immediately swells to the size of a stone. The chief pulls out a clay tablet and writes, "Root makes you silent forever." This terrifying trial and error method was our only line of defense. Our current recipes are survival contracts written in ancient blood. Let's talk about the potato, a staple food that secretly wanted to murder us. Early South American farmers found wild tubers dripping with toxins. They watched wild llamas eating clay before consuming the toxic potatoes. The clay bound to the poisons, neutralizing the chemical attack. Humans immediately copied the llamas, dunking their poisonous potatoes into a mud slurry. Dirt was the secret ingredient to not dying. Eventually, someone realized that boiling things for hours could turn a lethal weapon into a delicious meal. Cooking was for safety, not flavor. Take cassava, a root containing enough cyanide to wipe out a village. Ancient peoples had two: grate, soak, and ferment it. Imagine the guy who watched 10 friends die from raw cassava and thought, "Let me try boiling it for 6 hours first." That is dedication. In ancient Japan, fish lovers played a deadly game with pufferfish. One wrong slice, and the customer's heart stops beating. Ancient chefs had to figure out where the poison lived. The training manual was literally a pile of dead customers behind the restaurant. It took centuries of casual manslaughter to perfect the art of serving a non-lethal seafood dinner. Monarchs later invented the food taster. A Roman emperor sits at his banquet, staring at a plate of roasted mushrooms. He gestures to a terrified servant to take a bite. The court waits in absolute silence. If the servant keeps smiling, the emperor eats. If the servant drops dead, the chef is executed. It was a great system for the emperor, but a terrible career path. The kitchen became a minefield where every ingredient was a hostile enemy. But what happened when the food tasted fine, but killed you 3 days later? Welcome to ergot, a toxic fungus in grain supplies. An entire village eats rye bread, and by sunset, everyone is hallucinating. They thought they were cursed by demons. The elders had to track the madness to a dark powder on the crops. The solution: burn the harvest and starve, or eat and meet ancestors. In the desert, water was scarce, but the wrong oasis could liquefy your organs. Travelers watched for desert flies around the water. If flies were dead on the surface, you kept walking. If they were happily buzzed, you filled your canteen and prayed. Every herb in your spice rack has a dramatic backstory. Rosemary, thyme, and garlic were used to keep rotting meat from killing you. Spices were the ancient equivalent of chemical preservatives. Now think about milk, which goes from refreshing to biological weapon in 12 hours. Someone left milk in a warm container, and it curdled into a funky, solid block. Instead of throwing it away, a brave soul took a bite. They didn't die, discovering that fermentation preserved the dairy. Fermentation became humanity's favorite cheat code to bypass the Grim Reaper. Beer and wine were invented because raw water was a shortcut to a painful demise. Alcohol was a basic health insurance policy. But the ultimate test of culinary bravery is the discovery of sea salt. Early humans watched animals licking rocks and copied them. The meat suddenly stopped rotting. Salt became the most valuable treasure, paid to soldiers to keep them from dying of food poisoning. The next time you look at a nutritional label, remember that every ingredient was paid for by an ancestor who didn't survive. We are only here because our ancestors had stomachs made of cast iron. Take almonds, the healthy snack that was once an assassination tool. Wild almonds are packed with cyanide. A genetic mutation caused a single tree to grow sweet, non-toxic almonds by pure accident. Some gatherer risked their life to taste that nut and saved a species. Nature didn't want us to eat its children. Even honey was a trap if bees harvested from toxic flowers. Ancient armies were wiped out after eating mad honey. Soldiers gorged on the sweet hives, became paralyzed, and were easily defeated. A dessert turned into a weapon of mass destruction. Food safety was an active battlefield where the enemy was invisible. Ancient peoples developed a flawless oral tradition to pass tips down. Do not eat the white berry, and never trust a spotted mushroom. Knowing which weed caused blindness was the real wealth. In ancient Egypt, inspectors would beat bakers who mixed bad grain. Quality control was enforced with a heavy wooden stick. If a merchant sold rotten fish, they were forced to wear it around their neck. Public humiliation was surprisingly effective for safety. This aggressive approach kept cities from collapsing into plague. Keep the food clean, or become food for the vultures. In the deep ocean, ancient coastal tribes had to find out which sea monsters were delicious and which were pure venom. Cooking certain crabs made them safe, while others remained toxic. The trial and error process restarted with every new ecosystem. In the frozen north, they discovered a polar bear's liver contains enough vitamin A to explode a human brain. Eat the bear meat, but destroy the liver. The menu kept expanding, but the price of admission remained high. We survived the berries, the toxic roots, and the killer pufferfish. Humanity transformed the planet into a giant supermarket aisle. The next time you complain about a hair in your soup, just take a deep breath. At least your lunch isn't trying to paralyze your lungs. Our ancestors did the dirty work so we could complain about delivery times. The answer to food safety will always be a prehistoric body count. The ultimate game of culinary roulette has been won. Bon appétit, and thank the ancestors who didn't survive the ultimate taste test.